by mayoral candidate now, just announced maybe 10 minutes ago. She is the current 40th District State Senator, the chair of the Legislative Black Caucus. Ms. Catherine Pugh, how you doing?
I'm great. Totally excited.
I can see. I mean, I definitely want to say thank you because myself, Comrade Donnie Glover, we've been writing about this. We've been talking about the race. Nobody else has. You just brought the energy into the race.
Thank you.
It was ridiculous. I haven't seen an announcement like this since Barack Obama.
Oh, wow.
You know, I mean, it was great. You brought it in. What now is your vision over the next 98 days that we have left till September 13th? What are you ready to bring to Baltimore?
Continue to energize the people around the need to support our young people, to push the young folks' agenda forward, to craft a vision that is going to completely support our young people, support the families in our neighborhoods, move the city from being a developer-driven city to a more community-driven city. And I just want to be real clear when I talk about that, because I want people to know that I'm a business person and that I understand that we have to do and must do business in order for economic stability to maintain here. But what I'm concerned about is us balancing the resources that we put downtown against the resources that we use uptown. I just want to see a more community-driven city. I still ride through neighborhoods and don't understand why certain properties have not been fixed during this period of time. And so I'm just concerned about how we energize our community to recognize that it has a right and a responsibility to ask for what it needs and to get it at the same time, especially when we invest our property taxes in this city. And we get community block grants all the time. We can put some more of that money into our city neighborhoods.
Speaking of money and business, they say you've raised in a tremendous amount of money already before, and I'm sure you're not going to give the secret out of the bag till August filing deadline, but they say you're right up there with the incumbent, and that this will be the race between you and her come September 13th. But as you said during the announcement, it's not about the candidates, it's about the city of Baltimore. Why is that?
This is about the hearts and souls of the people of Baltimore who believe, and I hope they believe, that they deserve better, that it's not about maintaining a city. You know, you've heard all of the endorsements and so forth. She's done it, you know, about how maintain the city and done a great job, but maintaining is just not good enough. You know, we've got to do better. It's about pushing the city forward. It's about having a vision for how do you get there. It's about what do we do to recognize that our children, in fact, are our future, and the only way they become our future is that we stabilize them, that we develop their character, that we give them the incentives that they need to finish school, to go to work, to become productive members of our society, to move off of our street corners. And most young people don't even recognize that when they're standing on our corners, they on an average make less than a child in McDonald's or an adult in McDonald's flipping hamburgers. So we've got to tell them what they need to do. We've got to support the families that bring these children about, and we've got to give them the tools, if it's training or whatever they need, to support them.
Speaking of that, maintaining services, the city has, for 2 years straight, maintained the adequate funding as of last year for education. Only 15% of the entire budget goes to education. And as we know, the cost of living goes up each year, the cost of services. So maintaining is really actually going backwards when you just maintain the services. What would you do as the next mayor in education? Would you put more money into education, or how would you
Let me just say this. I
that?
believe that the vision for the city has to come from its leader. And so that leader, me, has to understand what the greatest need is for the city. The need is education, the need is job opportunities, and so that's the thing that you go fight for. That's the thing that you galvanize the business community, the philanthropic community, the faith community around. These are the issues that I need you to step up to the plate for. There are other folks crafting visions for our city. I'm saying that vision comes from the leader of the city, and you have to identify, and then you have to know how to go and get it. You know, when I did the Fish Out of Water project, and I know it sounds like a simple project, but when I said to then Mayor O'Malley that the city, we can do this fish project, put these fish all up around the city, he said yes. But it was me who had to go out to the philanthropic community and say, look, help me do this. You know, help me raise money to do this. And they did. And I was a city council person, so I know what the power of being a mayor can do. So you have to use your power for the people. So all I'm asking for people to do is to give me the responsibility of leading. Give me the responsibility to be the mayor who will step up to the plate and say, look, community, here's the direction I need you to go in. Because if you do this for me, I can guarantee you a more productive city.
You brought up an interesting topic, one that I've touched on plenty of times that kind of got swept under the rug in traditional media, is the $12 million lawsuit for the lead paint that you actually played a big part in before the session was let out, and the $4 million that was used to fight this battle. How do we do that? What would you do as the mayor to address that situation and the more cases that are assumed to be
and that's
coming?
why I said we got to create an endowment fund.
Okay.
You know, and what you do with an endowment fund, you get to invest it so that it grows. Because what I'm pointing out is that this is in fact the tip of the iceberg. That suit is probably one of many suits to come. Because we have children who have been lead paint poisoned over decades. They've lived in our housing that's been provided for the city, by the city. So we have a responsibility to these young people, and that's why you got to create an endowment fund that will give back, so that we can continue to raise money over the years, so that we can begin to support the needs of these families and the needs of these children.
One question. September 13th, already the filing deadline isn't here until July 5th, but we have 5 or 6 candidates outside of the incumbent. Why should the voters watching this vote for Catherine Pugh?
Because they'll recognize that if they want leadership that they can believe in, if they want leadership that understands that the children are our future, that we have a responsibility to be more community-driven than developer-driven, that we can plan a future for this city that will keep people in it and not out, that we will in fact reduce property taxes, that we've studied it, we understand what needs to take place in order for us to be competitive with jurisdictions around us. We want to support those who've invested in our city for decades, and so I'm going to do that. And people who know me know that I've studied, I work hard, and I'll do whatever it takes to move the city forward, and I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. How can those who are excited about you watching this get more information about you or get in contact with you and your campaign?
CatherinePugh.com. All they have to do is go to our website, come down to our office, 819 East Baltimore Street, volunteer, call us, 685, I believe it is PUGH 410. Just join us. We're going to be out there every day working on behalf of the people, asking them to believe in us, work with us, push us forward so we can make Baltimore better.
Absolutely. 98 days left. Senator Catherine Pugh, possibly the next mayor. Catherine Pugh, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy and putting yourself forward in this campaign for mayor.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more of Value My Vote.